Hello, folks, and welcome to the Blitz Business Development Show. I'm your host, Mayo Best, and we are here for not only the final part in our three-part series for the Pyramid of Profit, we are also here for the final episode, which is our season finale for the actual season. So this is a great time. And listen, if you're trying to find out how and what you need to do in order to increase your profits and grow your business, this is the final episode that you absolutely do not want to miss as we cap off the end of our series with the Pyramid of Profit. And we're going to discuss the tip of the pyramid today. And that's going to be dealing with revenue generation. All this and so much more when we come back from paying some bills. Hello and welcome to the Blitz Business Development Show. My name is Mayo Best and I'm a business consultant and coach as well as the founder of the Blitz Business Development Academy. This is a show that provides guidance, resources, and access to best practices to help you advertise, manage, and build geometric profits. From freelancers and home-based business owners to startups and storefronts, you will learn how to start small as you think and grow big. The Blitz Local Deals Club is a free membership-based app and service that offers consumers the ability to find the best deals, coupons, and savings available in their neighborhoods. This exclusive free membership connects you to the best offers from local pizza and sandwich shops, bars, restaurants, stores, and service-based businesses. Members will even gain access to rewards and loyalty programs, making this the ultimate money savings app on the planet. And the best part is, not only can consumers take advantage of the best deals and discounts, but also help support their local businesses during the COVID-19 pandemic. This is all made possible at the click of a button. So, become a free member and get access to your local deals today. All right, guys, and we are back. So we're going into the last portion of our three-part series, and we're going to be discussing revenue generation. Okay. Now, revenue generation, of course, is what we ultimately want to accomplish with our business growth. We want to generate more revenue, right? So in all of the different sections of the pyramid that we've discussed over the last few weeks, okay, in the entire three-part series, we've been discussing the foundation as well as the midsection. We've covered on what skills you need. We've covered on all types of topics having to do with your ability to learn and coaching and so forth. And now we've come to the creme de la creme, okay? The tip of the iceberg. We've come to the portion of the pyramid that actually deals with profit and making the most profit that you can. And what are the bottlenecks that are in your way of those profits as it relates to revenue generation? So as you're going to see, as we've done before with the other sections of the pyramid, we've broken this down into 4 different areas that ultimately will affect that revenue generation. Okay. And just to be clear, to make sure you guys are tracking me, every last one of the sections, as well as all of the subcomponents of those sections in the pyramid that we've discussed on all of the other parts, they all contribute to your bottlenecks. It's not just one bottleneck, all put together. Okay. Make sure that you guys are with me with this. So we're just coming into the last few sections that make up the end of the pyramid of profit. Okay. Now, I do want to say before we jump into this, that guys, there are several things that we can break down into further components. Okay. This is never meant to be a definitive list, but I would say categorically, this is how I like to approach someone trying to increase their profits. These are the areas that we actually look at. This is the assessment that I give my clients to figure out what's going on as to why they aren't growing or why they aren't making more money. Okay. So, you know, there are other things that we could definitely talk about, But this is where I like to start. And then from here, we wiggle ourselves into a game plan. All right. So with that said, we're going to jump into the first segment of the pyramid. And that's under, of course, revenue generation. And the number one, okay, of this section is going to be transactional versus relational business models. This is huge. And a lot of folks do not understand how your business approach or your approach to doing business with your customers has so much to do with your bottom line. And what I'm talking about, of course, is your LTV, okay, your lifetime value of that particular customer. Now, why is this such a big deal? This is such a big deal for a couple of reasons. There are a lot of folks who get really good at this, and I'm going to tell you who's typically pretty decent at this. They may not be the best, but they're better at it than some other folks who don't do this. People that are normally good at this and they may have failed their way into this way of doing business are people that work off of referrals, okay, and get references and so forth. Word of mouth folks tend to have a little bit more of a relational approach to doing their business, which is where you want to be. Now, the reason why this works so well is because from the perspective of their bottom lines, if they use the right tactics, they can make so much more money with those same customers over and over again. Okay? But in order for this to work, in order for you to be good and to get as much money as you can out of those same customers, at the same time, what you also have to be really good at is continuously building value. You have to always build value for your customers. If you practice this, guys, I can tell you from firsthand knowledge that if you do this, you will actually make so much more money. So much more money. Okay? I've done it. It's how I actually operate. And I can tell you that though I would never recommend that you solely work off of a marketing strategy of just using referral marketing, in hard times, okay, in hard times where maybe you may not have the advertising budget that you want, business is going down, believe it or not, this is what can save you. Because you always have the ability to go back and build value with those same people who already trust you. They already know, like, and trust you. This is why I'm always promoting this. And by the way, this is just good business. Now, we've talked about being relational and the benefits of doing that. Let's talk about being transactional. When you are transactional, and what do I mean by transactional? By transactional, I mean, let's say you sell a product or service. You do that service or you sell that product and you are simply done. You don't check in with the customer. You don't build any extra value. Hell, you may not even have any upsells. You don't come back and see how that customer is doing. You make your money and you run. Okay? You make your money and you go because you're basically concentrating on volume. And I understand for some businesses that makes sense to a degree because even with businesses that sell products, okay, you still can basically have a high touch portion of your business that allows for you to build relationships based off of how you approach it. Now, again, if you're going to try to be relational, then you don't want to just do something and be done. You can't be lazy, guys. In other words, you have to always sincerely be looking for ways to build value for those customers. And how do you do that? Well, you always look for the next problem to solve that they're going to need you for. And if you have another problem that you can solve that doesn't take you out of your business, okay, to where you start, getting distracted and end up in a whole nother business, okay, don't do that. But if it's something that makes sense for you to be able to offer, if it's not that much, skin off your back to do, then look into possibly offering that service, because the reality is if they need it and they can't get it from you, they're going to go someplace else and get it anyway. So why leave that meat on the bone? Sorry for you vegetarians out there, but why leave that meat on the bone and leave that money on the table when you can get it right then and there? Because why? They already know, like, and trust you. Why not trust you to do the next thing that they already need, right? That's the thought process of your customers. If they know, like, and trust you, and they know that you can do a good job with what you've already done, why not trust you with this? Because trust me, your customers don't want to go through the rigmarole of trying to find a new person to know, like, and trust to do something if they already know they have somebody who can do it. All right. And they're not going to charge them necessarily an arm and a leg. They're going to be fair, which you already want to be. Then why not go with you versus the person who's transactional, who doesn't have this relationship at all? You sell your product, you're gone. And listen, for those of you out there that are transactional, you also want to remember something. The acquisition cost for a customer is far higher than trying to take a customer that you already have and making more money with that same customer. Okay? So being transactional in so many different ways, it hurts you guys. Okay? It doesn't give you the ability to differentiate yourself from your competitors in the marketplace. It doesn't allow you to capitalize on LTV. And it doesn't ultimately build more value with those customers to get that loyalty. All right. And get that repeat business, which makes you more money and increases that revenue. This is one of the biggest bottlenecks that I see with a lot of businesses. And by the way, I'm not here to get on people that sell products, because this happens in service-based businesses as well as product-type businesses. Okay. So transactional versus relational business models. You really want to take a look at what you're doing. And if you think about it, you know who you are if this is one of the things that you're doing, being transactional versus being relational. Okay, let's move on to number 2, untapped revenue streams. So what I see a lot of businesses do, and this happens, actually I would say it happens for both, really. But I see this happen a lot sometimes with people who have products, especially mom and pop type businesses that are really small, and they start off with a product and they do pretty well with that product. Well, what tends to happen is once you get, some success with that revenue stream, a lot of times people tend to keep just doing the same thing over and over and over again. And the reason why this is so important is because if you want to maximize on your revenue, then you want to look at different ways to make that revenue. Okay. So I'll give you an example. Let's say that you sell some type of a hair care product, right? So your product-based business, you sell hair care products. Well, you may want to consider adding some other products to that line. Okay. Now there are a number of products you can add. You can now get into face care or skin care. Okay. You can start supplying certain types of brushes. You can go the electronic route. Okay. And add, like, say you have your own type of signature hair dryer. These are all possible things to do that aren't necessarily all that expensive either, believe it or not. There are all types of sources out there where you can put your logos on products like Alibaba, and places like that. You can definitely go and get your own branding for a lot of different products and add to your product line. Now, this feeds into what I just discussed earlier about being that go-to person for more than one thing for the clients that already know, like, and trust you, right? So this follows suit with that type of philosophy and thinking. And these are the benefits of being able to do that, is that you end up with more revenue streams than you started with. Okay, so this is another bottleneck. that if you are not maximizing on your opportunities with your existing clientele and adding that value by adding other products and possibly even services to, your business, then you are limiting and even stifling your potential for growth. Okay? That's another huge thing to be very, very conscious of. And now let's go into number 3, which is diversified revenue streams. Now, it's one thing to have more than one type of product that you're selling. It's a totally entirely different thing to have a different type of revenue stream. And what do I mean? So let's just say having multiple products would be a multi-product class. Now, a different type of revenue would be, in addition to, let's say, those products, you now add a monthly service, okay, to your product line. And we'll stay with this whole scenario of working with a company that sells hair care products, right? So as a company that sells hair care products, in addition to the products that you're selling, you're also selling, of course, the facial care. Now you're going to basically add a service, all right, where people can basically call and get monthly consultations to help them with problems that they may be having with skincare. So because you're doing so well from the products that you're selling, you're able to invest in hiring, say, an esthetician or someone licensed to do this type of work. And then those skincare consultations leads to you selling more products. And let's say we put that person on a monthly, or that's getting you to MRR, monthly recurring revenue service plan. Now, this is just off on the top of my head. I'm actually literally making all of this up, but I'm just using this as an example to show you how we've just diversified your revenue stream by giving you a service that you can use to add monthly recurring income. I can tell you now, MRR, or monthly recurring income, is a really, really cool thing, because that's monthly income that you can use to help you kind of project out in terms of business growth, okay? And also giving you even more stability along with that growth. And that's money, that's pretty much money that you can count on that should be coming in month after month after month. Now, there's some other advanced strategies as to why this will be important to do, because, and we won't really get into this now, but later on down the road, when you go to try to get loans and so forth for your business, you actually can get a loan contingent upon your accounts receivable, okay? Or what you are projected to do based off of what you have already made. And they will give you a loan, certain companies will, based off of, what you're expecting to receive. And your loan will be contingent upon that, not even necessarily using your business credit or your personal credit, but using the credit of your business, so to speak, based off of its previous activity. So there are a lot of reasons to get into this type of an income. It's a lot of reasons where it would make so much more sense. Now, if you got monthly recurring income, in addition to this, you also have quarterly income that you can create. You can have an annual income stream based off of the type of services that you offer. It's totally up to you. But I just want to give you guys some examples as to how you can diversify your revenue types. And this does not matter whether or not you sell a service now or a product. If you sell a service, then perhaps you can look into a one-off product that you can create. Could be a course, could be information, could be a tangible product. It really depends on what you're doing. Okay, so I don't want anyone to think that diversified revenue types are for any one type of business. Okay, so another huge bottleneck. Now just think about that, guys. When you connect the diversification of your revenue type with additional revenue streams, what do you think is going to happen to your overall bottom line? Okay, what's going to happen to the gross revenue of the company? It doesn't have a choice but to go up because you're selling more. And if you're doing both of these, then you're not only making money that you were making before, you're making additional money. You're making it on a monthly basis if you're using the MRR strategy to accomplish this. So this is huge. This is a big, big, big and easy way, believe it or not, to unclog the bottleneck to your revenue streams and increasing your profits overall. All right. And we're going to go on now to number 4, which is the final, the final section of this whole pyramid to profit. And that is, you don't know what you don't know. Now, what does that mean and why am I saying it? The reason why I saved this one as number 12 is because of all of the things that we talked about in just these 3 weeks and breaking down all 3 of these sections, folks. There's so much more that you don't see because you are in the picture, and it's hard to see the picture when you're in the frame. This is why I've come to, because you don't know what you don't know, find someone, get someone who does. They don't have to be able to see in the future, but as long as they can see further than you have the ability to see, then they're an asset to you. Now, I don't say just get anyone. I'm saying find a business consultant, find a business mentor, find a business coach, get some help. All right. And, you know, this show is also being recorded on YouTube as well as it's being syndicated on different podcasts. But I want to close out this with one thing. Guys, there's so much that you can learn for free. And I encourage it because honestly, I learn a lot of things for free, just like you do. I go to YouTube, you know, places like some of you right now may be watching this on YouTube. And some of you may be listening to this podcast. But I cannot tell you that the way that I'm able to help you guys now is because I've invested not just the time, but I've also invested money into my education. And I just want to say that as a Generation X person at this point, you know, we are definitely in a time where we are not in a deficit or for lack of information. That is not the problem. Guys, you can get all the information that you're getting from me now. You could find it probably somewhere for sure online for free. Some of it you may have even heard before, possibly. Okay. However, what you can't get off YouTube, what you can't get off Udemy, what you can't get off any course that even I could sell myself or might could offer you, is what you can't get from courses and from these different types of platforms is you can't get nuance. Nuance, folks, is experience, skill, blood, sweat, pain, which all encompasses soul. For that, you're going to need another human being who has done what you're trying to do, who has possibly accomplished what you're trying to accomplish, and who has the ability to help you see beyond where you can sometimes see yourself. It's mentors, it's all the coaches and consultants. It's these types of folks that can help you do this. And I'm saying to you, there are folks that are really, really, really passionate about helping you to do this. And I'm not just talking about myself. I know other coaches and consultants that would love to help you. I'm saying, guys, listen, get help. Even if it's free help, then get free help, but get help. Don't try to take this journey on by yourself. Okay. And also too, I'll tell you guys about this story at another time, but be careful who you follow, be careful who you listen to. You can always tell who's looking to try to basically, just simply sell you something and doesn't really care about you, just want, to take your money. You can tell who they are. For most of these shows, most of us who do them, we don't get paid. And a lot of times we give our audiences a lot of information that people normally would have to pay for. And it's very difficult to monetize these types of shows. So at the very least, guys, I'm not just speaking for myself. I'm speaking for other podcasts that you may be listening to, other podcasters. It's a lot of work that goes into these shows, guys. Trust me. And it's extremely difficult for some of us to do. So please make sure you support the shows by giving them those downloads, guys, and visiting and sometimes checking them out on YouTube or whatever platforms they're on. And this is not just for my show, but this is for other shows that you guys may be listening to. Podcasters need this type of help and that support and that push, because it's not easy doing these shows. And, really a lot of times you pour a lot into it. So with that said, before I let you guys go, I want to let you know that this is the actual last episode of our first season. And our seasons are actually 12 episodes. I can't believe it's been 12 episodes this fast, but it's already been a couple of months if you've been with me. So if you have been with me, I have definitely decided to move on to a second season. And that season will be airing in February. We're going to go on a week's hiatus, 1 week or so, maybe 2 weeks tops. Actually, maybe be more like 2 weeks, but we're going to be right back here again. So this second season, guys, it's going to be awesome. You're no longer just going to be listening to me run my mouth for 30, 45 minutes. It's actually going to be different types of businesses with different business owners, different types of teachings, but they're all going to stay to our original format of making sure that we pour as much value into you. So when you come back and you see me again for our second season, it's not going to look like this. We've actually made some changes. It's going to look a little bit different. There'll be a different format to some degree, but the quality will not diminish. We will do everything we can to keep the value up and keep you guys learning and growing. With that said, for all of you that have been watching our podcast for the Blitz Business Development Show for this first season, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on the next season. Now, in the show notes today, I'm going to be adding a couple of things for you guys to do. Number one, come and check us out at our YouTube channel. We really need the views. And by the way, every episode that we recorded for the podcast is actually on YouTube. And no, it's not like how some other folks do where they just take the audio. There's actually a whole video section where you guys can look at all of the notes that's being basically placed, on the screen, that's being set to you when I read them off and I say number one, number two. Well, all that's actually on screen. Okay, so definitely come over to our YouTube channel. All you have to do is go to the Blitz Business Development Show and you're there. And all of the episodes that we've recorded, they're actually both on YouTube as well as in the podcast. And that's going to continue to be the case as we move forward in the second season. Now, last but not least, guys, as a season finale offer, and my thank you for you all for listening to the show, I'm offering something that I'm hoping some of you take advantage of, and that is the Pyramid to Profit assessment. I'm actually going to be giving complimentary assessments where you're going to work with me one-on-one. It should be about maybe 30 minutes to an hour if it takes that long. We'll go 30 minutes to an hour and we're going to break down your business and where your bottlenecks may be based off of what your assessment reveals to me. So what you'll see in the assessment is one thing, and what I'm able to see from the way you answer those questions is something totally different and far deeper. Okay, and it's based off of what you just went through, but it's a little bit different once you're dealing with me, as I'm giving you the results from that consultation. So for anyone who wants to take advantage of that, that's normally about a $125 session that I normally charge for that. You guys are going to be getting that for absolutely free. So to take advantage of that, you're going to want to go to the show notes, click on the link, and sign up for the assessment. You'll be able to book your time and your date for you to do that, and I will see you there for those that want to take advantage of it. With that said, folks, thank you so much. God bless, and I'll see you in our second season in just about 1 to 2 weeks. Probably about 2 weeks is where we'll come out with the second season. So don't go anywhere. The show's still going on, and I'm going to see you there. Take care, guys. God bless. Bye-bye.